I'm like literally just winging this project. I'm just gonna be making it up as I go along. Hi there, Michelle here, also known as Fancy Dinosaur Tea Party, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be attempting to make a Gator Loki. If you are as obsessed as I am with the Marvel TV show Loki, then you know why I gotta make this. I gotta do it. I just have to make it. I don't know if they're ever going to make a doll of him. They probably will. But I don't want it to be that Baby Yoda instance where I had to wait months in order to acquire a Baby Yoda, which I did. I want Gator Loki right now. Like, I want him right now. The only stuffed animal that I've ever made was a frog, and if you've seen that video then you know what I'm talking about. It's that sad looking frog on that cake. That's the only like stuffed animal I've ever made, and now I'm like gonna attempt to make an alligator, so that should be fun. I went to Micheals yesterday and I was very good. I only bought what I needed plus a few other things that I knew I wanted, didn't need, but I bought them. Anywho, I ended up buying these colors for him. I don't know how they're gonna work out. I've never made an alligator before, so yay. It's more of like a dark olive green to me. I don't know what color it's kind of showing up on the camera, but it doesn't really look the same color as I see it. But I bought this one for his like main body, and then I bought this one that's looking really blue on camera, but it is not. It is definitely more of like a turquoisey green, but I bought this one for like the underbelly, so there's like, you know, two tones going on, and I thought that these two would look really cute together. So for the crochet hook, because I will be crocheting because again I don't knit, the crochet hook wants a 11.5 millimeter Canadian and US P. That's what the US is, so again, I don't know what the US means, but they didn't have that size, so I'm just going to be using a 10 millimeter crochet hook. It will do fine. 10 was like literally the biggest size that they sold at Micheals. Also, I already own it. Like if they had an 11.5, which I've never seen before, probably would have picked it up, but they didn't, so I wasn't going to like stress over it. I'm pretty sure I'm only going to need these two. I don't think I'm going to need any more than this, because I don't want him to be like a huge gator. I kind of want him to be like medium size, so maybe I can put him like in my background somewhere. Again, I don't know what I'm doing. I even tried to look up a YouTube video on how to make an alligator, but none of them were what I wanted. I'm like literally just winging this project. I'm just gonna be making it up as I go along and seeing where it goes. I'm pretty good with crocheting that I can see, like I can see a picture of something and then like visualize how I'm going to crochet it. I'm probably gonna make this process a lot more difficult than it needs to be. There's probably a lot more easier ways to crochet something. I think the only stitch I'm gonna use is probably going to be like a single crochet. I think I'm just gonna do a single crochet. We'll see how that goes. I can't really go over what I'm planning to do in this intro because I have no idea what I'm gonna do. So I keep getting the same type of questions in my crochet videos about like how many balls of yarn that I've used for each color. I do list it in below, so if you do have that question, read the description. It's all there. It tells you what color I'm using, what brand I'm using, how much of yarn I'm using, and being honest, a lot of my projects, I'll buy a color and not even use the entire ball of yarn on it. You don't need a lot of yarn for these projects. This project, I'm not 100% sure how much yarn I'm gonna need. That's gonna be something that I'll figure out eventually. Okay, so the beginning of this video where I showed you what I was gonna do, things have changed. Just watch the intro and it's been a couple of days and I've already like changed up my design as per usual. So a few things I'm gonna do is I wanted to make his crown out of paper mache. I was like thinking about it and I'm like, Michelle, this is a crochet project. You should be crocheting the crown. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna crochet it. I have like a yellowy gold color somewhere in my stash, so you gotta find that first. To start this project, I will be doing a slip knot and then chaining 16. When I get to 16 chains, I will add an extra chain before starting my single crochet row. The reason why I add the extra chain is so that way I have a flat edge. If you don't add it, then your edges will become a little bit wonky, and I know this from personal experience. I will now skip one chain and create a single crochet in the first loop. To do a single crochet, I insert my hook, loop over, pull through, loop over, and pull through 2 loops on my hook. I will be making 16 crochets. When I get to the end, I will add a chain, skip a loop, and continue chaining 16. In the end, I will be creating 13 rows of 16 single crochets. I swear, every time I try to make a project, things just take a turn where I did not expect it was gonna happen. First problem, I could not find my 10mm crochet hook. I don't even use it that often, and I've checked every spot that I would have crochet hooks. I found all my other crochet hooks, but I don't know where the 10mm is. So I went out and I went to Walmart and I bought this bamboo one. It was, I think, $4. I didn't want to spend a lot of money on it because I know I'm gonna end up finding the crochet hook that I really like, my metal one. I love the metal ones, and I don't like plastic. They also had plastic ones, but I think like just this bamboo style one is fine for what I need. And then I started working on the project. I started working on it, but I didn't realize how much yarn I'm gonna need. I've been usually really good with only having to buy one ball for all my projects. So yesterday I was making some progress, it was going great, and then I realized, hey, I don't have enough yarn. I had to buy more of it, but this particular color of this yarn is sold out everywhere. I have 2 Micheals in Niagara. I guess I bought the last one when I was in the St. Catharines one the other day. So I went online and I checked. The only one who had this color was Hamilton. So I had to drive yesterday an hour there, an hour back to get it. And I did do the curbside pickup because I'm like, I'm gonna order this and I'm gonna make sure they have it. And I'm gonna make sure that they send me an email being like, your order is ready. Then me drive all the way there and either someone bought it or it was already in someone's basket. The computers didn't pick up on it. Like, I was really afraid, but I got it. I think that's all I'm gonna need. So far I have this, and I know it might not look like a lot, but this is going to be like the top of him. And then I'm going to take the other color and do the exact same thing I did to this, to the other one, and then I'm gonna put them together and like sew up the sides. There's probably easier ways to crochet this, but I'm doing it my way because it makes sense in my head. And you know what? If it goes bad, well, then you know what not to do in the future. Let's continue making this alligator Loki. What I'm gonna do now is I'm going to add the bottom part of this, and I'm not too sure how I'm gonna close this up yet. We'll figure this out. What I did for the tail, but I didn't show it for this green. I wasn't too sure how I was gonna do this. So what I did is I did 16 this way, about 13 down. I skipped a stitch on both sides so it started to like tailor in. And then when I would get here, I wouldn't be skipping. I'd maybe do like a few and then I'd skip one in, do a few, skip. I'll show you what I did when I add this. For the underside of this gator, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna make it a little bit smaller than the top half, and I'm only gonna be chaining 10 stitches. Even though I'm making the underside a little bit smaller, I am doing the exact same steps that I did for his back. So I have my rows done, and what I'm going to do to create the tail part, same way I did this one, I'll show you for this, because I'm sorry, I forgot to film this. It was just a hectic day. But again, I wasn't too sure if I was gonna like this. Who knows, maybe I won't like this in the end. What I'm gonna do is, since I got to the end here, you know how I would normally add another chain and then work back? What I'm gonna do is I'm just not gonna add another chain. I'm going to skip this one here, and I'm gonna go right back into here and just work my way back down. And now that I've gotten down to this end, I'm gonna do the same thing and skip a stitch and go right into here. This is kind of what it's looking like. I'm going to do it one more time, skipping one, going into here. So now that I'm here, I want to have this width all the way down until I'm probably here, and then I'll start skipping stitches again and going back to the same format that I had before, where I add an extra one and go back in. So adding the extra stitch, I'm just maintaining the shape that I want. If I don't add that extra stitch, then it will keep on shrinking. To taper off the tail, at the start of each row, I'll be skipping a stitch. I continue to do this until there is only one stitch left on a row. Once done, I will cut the working yarn and make a slip stitch. All right, so I have my yarn needle, and I'm going to take the darker color green. Again, I don't really know what I'm doing. I decided that this is gonna be my good side and this is gonna be my good side because they look exactly the same. And then I'm gonna line up the top, poke through there, poke through there. Tie it up. I sewed it all up. I'm going to leave this extra here because what I'm thinking is I'm going to weave it through here so I can like pull it tightly, but first I have to turn this inside out. Okay, he's chubby. It's cute. All right, it's coming together. It's not bad. Like, I thought that this was gonna be full of holes. It doesn't look that bad. I mean, I can put my hand in it. Oh, make a sweater out of this. No, this isn't bad. This isn't bad. I didn't know how I was gonna make it, and I still don't know how it's gonna turn out. For his little body's pretty cute. I think I wanna finish his body today and add the arms because I don't know what I'm gonna do for the head yet. For his little feet, I am chaining 10 and then I'm gonna be doing single crochets and going round and around until I reach about 5-ish rows. To finish off his feet, I'm going to be skipping every other stitch until they're closed up. Skip one, and I'm gonna go into the next one. And I'm just gonna keep on skipping until I can't really skip anymore. When I get to like here, I do one more. So another thing that I'm doing with the paws, because again, when I did like this, it has like kind of like that little peak to it. So what I'm gonna do is the little tail end that I have, I'm gonna take that tail end and then I'm gonna take the tail end that I started the circle with, and I'm just gonna tie it just like that. That way this kind of like becomes more of a stump and it's not too pokey outy. And that's how the paws are gonna look. And then I'm gonna take some pillow stuffing and stuff the little paws. More stuffing. I don't think I want the tail as stuffed as like the rest of the body. He's gonna be a bit chonky. To close up the body, I'm gonna be using my yarn needle and inserting it into every other stitch before I pull it closed. Pull that tight. That's what he's looking like. I waited for it to put his paws on when it was like nice and rounded. I feel like that's like a lot easier to do. There's the first one, cut that, tie it up. Stick all that just back in. So I'm gonna add the rest of the paws today, and then I think tomorrow I'm gonna start working on the head and then the details, because I think I'm gonna give him a little bit of spine, but I'm not too sure yet. So this is what he's looking like so far, and now I just need to work on the head. It's now the next day and I have to start working on his head. I think that the body is like, it's super cute. It's like much cuter than I thought that this was gonna turn out. He just needs a head. For the head, I am just gonna be using the same color that I did for the body. Thank goodness I bought that extra ball of yarn. I just need to figure out how to make the head. Looking at this guy and I'm trying to think, because he's more flat and the alligator doesn't really have a round head. So maybe I should just make like a mouth. Part of me was like I was gonna make a big round head, but that doesn't make any sense. I think I'm going to start with the mouth, see how that looks, and then like kind of like attach it to here and see if I need to add like anything else. First I have to find my crochet hook and then I can start working on the gator's mouth. So I'm starting off with a slip knot. To make the gator's head, I'm going to chain 16 and then connect it to make a circle. I will then continually make single crochets around until I have 8 rows. At around 8 rows, I will start decreasing and tapering off his little snout. I want to taper in the mouth just like a little bit, but not to the point where I close it. Okay, so this is my starting mark. So I know when I get back to here, I have to stop decreasing and then just keep on doing what I was doing. So I'm going to skip 1, 2 single crochets, and then I'm gonna skip 1, do 2, and then I'm gonna skip 1, and then do 2. Since I'm back up here again, I'm just gonna skip this final one, go into here, and then start crocheting in every one again. After a couple more rows, I decided that I wanted to start closing up the mouth. So what I ended up doing was I would stitch 2 and then I would skip 1. And I continued this process until the mouth was closed. So that's what it looks like. And then I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna cut this really long. Just a little slip stitch. And I know it's kind of pointy, but this is where I take this, push it back in like that. Then I'm gonna take the end here, tie it to the end down here. And so now it's not so pointy, and now I can stuff it. I'm not gonna stuff this one too much. I just wanna stuff it like a little bit, just so there's like a little bit of shape. And now I can attach this onto here. And again, to do that, I'm gonna take my yarn needle, and then I'll just cut this much. That's not looking too bad, and now I just need to do some eyes. To make the eyes, I'm going to be chaining 6 and connecting the ends to make a circle. Okay, just like that, I just chained 6. All right, so these are gonna be the eyes. I'm gonna put them right there. Just need to attach them like right here. So I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this, pull that through, tie it, and then just push that in. So he's got 2 little eyes, and then last year, I don't remember what I think I was trying to make a hat. I have this extra black that I'm gonna use for his little pupils. For the black in the eyes, I'm using my yarn needle and the black yarn and sewing them into the middle of the small circles I had just attached to the head. So my first thought was I was going to crochet something and then stitch it on, but I think I'm just gonna like crochet it right to him. Okay, so that's one, and I'm gonna do the exact same to the other side. So there's gonna be a lot of green fuzz on here. The yarn is very fuzzy, but I'm going to start making his crown, and for that, I'm going to be using this gold color along with this 5mm crochet hook. Like this will be linked if you wanna use the same color. I'll start off the crown by chaining 6. So crocheted 6, then I'm going to go back into the very first one, loop over, pull through everything, just like a slip stitch. Then in each one, I'm going to be crocheting 2 single crochets. To make sure that I don't lose where I started, I am gonna use this paper clip. So in each one, 2 singles. For the crown, I will be doing a technique called increasing. Increasing means you need to have 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. I made a little diagram. I hope this helps because half the time I don't know what I'm doing. This is kind of what increasing looks like. So in row 3, I will do 1 single crochet, 1 increase. In row 4, 2 single crochets, an increase. In row 5, 3 single crochets, increase. Row 6, 4 single crochets, increase, etc. until I think I get about 8 or 9 rows in, and it all depends on how big you want to make your crown. Okay, so now that I got the size that I want for his hat, I'm going to kind of make it more of a dome, and to do a dome, I'm just doing a single crochet in every single one. All right, so now that I have his little tiny hat done, well, the base of it, I still need to add the horns. It looks like a little tiny beret, which is super cute. For his horns, they do seem very, very long, so I'm going to be making 2 tubes and attaching it to this little guy. And then I think I'm gonna find some wire of some sort so I can put the wire into the horns and then shape them. I think that's a good idea. That's what I'm doing, is I'm just gonna make 2 long horns and put some wire in it, and then I can attach it to the top. For the tube, I'm gonna do my little slip stitch, insert, then chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do you think 6 is gonna be enough? Let's just do 10. 9, 10. I'm gonna insert back to the beginning, yarn over, pull through everything. Gonna be doing a bunch of rows, so I'm just doing single stitches. All right, as you can see, I have 1 row done. So I am just gonna be adding a bunch of rows until it's as long as I like. So now that I got into this part, what I want to do is I do want to slowly decrease it. To close up the horn, I'm skipping 1 stitch for every new row that I make until there are no more rows and I can close it up. And then I think I'm just going to tie this off just like this. I think that's a good one, and then I can just scissors, cut that and pull through. I just went into my craft supplies and turns out I have gold wire. I did not know I have this. I have wire cutters. I'll cut like, say like this much. Because the wire is so thin, I'm gonna fold it a bunch of times. And then this last one, I'm just gonna wrap it around it. Put this through, hopefully. I don't know how this is gonna really work. Yeah, okay, good. Just wanna make sure that bends right. Okay, oh, this is getting chaotic. Got the 2 little horns done. I think one's a bit longer than the other. That's fine. So now I just have to attach them onto here. Okay, so now that the crown is looking pretty good, now I just have to attach it to him. And I will be using the yellow. Also, I am gonna take a little bit of stuffing and kind of stuff it in the hat to give it like a little bit of oomph. And he's done. I think I'm pretty impressed for making my second stuffed animal. The first being that frog. You know what I mean if you watch the video. But I think he turned out pretty cute. I don't make stuffed animals. I make dresses and I make crocheted bags. I don't make alligators. But his little crown actually turned out pretty cute. Like, it turned out way better than I thought it was going to. But he's just actually super adorable. The yarn that I use is so soft. It's so soft. I do love him. I think his eyes might look a little sad, but I've never made stuffed animal eyes before. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. He's just pretty cute. I'm really surprised this came together. Like, I'm really surprised. Like, I knew what I wanted, and then he turned out like this. Like, it's fantastic. If you want to make an alligator Loki, I definitely suggest you do, because it did take like a little bit of time, but it was super easy. Like, the process was like the exact same steps. When I was making the nose, it was the same process that I made the arms. And everything on here is just single crochets, which makes things super, super easy. I really think that's it. He's super cute, and I'm really impressed with myself. If you're new to my channel, you like sewing, crafting, and thrifting, why not subscribe? You can also follow me on my Instagram, which is Fancy Dinosaur Tea Party. I think that is it, so y'all have a good day now.